Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Jeff with Bear of a Blogger, and you are listening to another Bear of a Blogger podcast. And today I'm going to do a short bird watching update on the Bear River Migratory Bird Refuge. I wanted to come out here today. It is January 22nd, Monday. I came out here for two reasons to see. One, we've had a little bit of a warm up over since last week. Things are starting to melt a little bit, and I want to see how that's changed things. And two, Saturday was the last day of the duck hunt, and usually when the duck hunt ends, the birds start to settle down a little bit, so the bird watching gets a little bit better on the auto loop. So those two things gave me cause and reason to want to come out and see what's going on the bird refuge auto loop. And so I'm out here on the southeast corner of May, about three quarters of the way around, and for the most part, it's still pretty slow, except there is a lot of great blue herons on the auto tour route in more areas than just what normally been on the south end. They've kind of been moving around a bit, I guess, because there's a little bit more open water. There's more places where they can fish and forage from. So I'm seeing a lot more great blue herons in a lot more places. I haven't seen a bald eagle. Still haven't seen another rough-legged hawk. It's been real dead with most other birds. But the one thing I wanted to make mention of is what I thought was extremely peculiar this time of year is I just drove by the kind of the southeast corner where the water goes underneath the road there, and there's 8, 9, 10, I didn't count them, American white pelicans sitting in the snow. The pelicans have already started to migrate back, and it's not even the end of January. We're still in the middle of winter, and I just saw the first pelicans of the year on the bird refuge, which is crazy. I've seen them in February in other locations before, even when there's still some ice and stuff. But most of the refuge is still pretty frozen, except for this area where the water goes out. There's open water there because of the current. So I know there's fish and there's carpet stuff in there, so there's food for them. But it is just crazy to see pelicans in the snow like this. It's foggy, overcast, hazy, cold. I don't think we're supposed to get above 40 today, and the pelicans have already started showing up. That's the interesting news of today is we've already started to see pelicans on the bird refuge, and it's the middle of January. So other than that, it's still kind of slow. But if you like great blue herons, there's a lot of them out here on the west side of the outer loop. I have seen a couple black crown night herons on the south side, but for the most part, it's still kind of slow. But it's kind of a dreary day out here, and I didn't really expect to see much. The outer loop itself, the road, part of it's thawed out, muddy and potholey, part of it's still frozen and icy. So it's kind of you got to drive it pretty slow. I'm sure my car is going to need a car wash when I get out of here. There are parts that are pretty muddy, and there are parts that are completely unfrozen. So just kind of hit or miss. But it is started. Things are starting to thaw out since we've been getting up to like 40 degrees during the daytime the last few days, and we had some rain over the weekend. So that's changing out here. So with regards to the driving, um, it's getting a little muddy out here, but that's all right. There are a few potholes you got to watch out for, but other than that, about half the auto tour route is mud, and half of it's still ice. But things will melt pretty quickly if the weather stays like this. But that's kind of what's going on. Still kind of quiet, not a lot of stuff going on, but it is the dead of winter. But in the next month, usually the tundra swans start coming back in middle of February, so that's something to kind of keep an eye out for as they start migrating back. I did see four tundra swans here on the auto loop on the southeast corner out on the ice quite a ways, a little further than what I could get with my camera, but there are four swans there, and I haven't heard anywhere else, but I haven't got down the last leg yet. So I know there's at least a few swans still on the outer loop, but that's pretty much what's going on here so far. It's kind of interesting to see the pelicans. Honestly, it really caught me off guard to see them. I didn't expect to see pelicans out here today, but I'm glad I saw them, and I'm glad there's quite a few great blue herons out here. Not much else. I'm surprised I haven't seen a bald eagle out here yet, but it's been kind of spotty on the refuge this year for bald eagles, and I'm not sure why. But there's a ton of in Box Elder County and north of the refuge in the town of Corinne. They kind of been sitting in the trees along the Bear River. I see them every afternoon, but the refuge has been kind of slow for bald eagles too. So it's been a different year for weather. I've seen birds stay later than they normally do, and now I'm seeing birds show up earlier than they normally do with these pelicans. So this weather is, I think it's the weather is causing a lot of weird things to happen with birds and bird migration. So we'll just kind of see how that goes. But anyway, I'm going to keep coming out here and checking the refuge at least a week, sometimes there two, maybe two, three times a week, and kind of see what's going on, let you guys know. So if you have any questions, drop them down in the comments below, or you can contact me through my website at bearriverblogger.com. And hope you guys have a good birding year this year, and we will catch you on the next podcast.